Telling.
That is sorry. That is a beautiful way to call it.
Yeah,
Meeting
people
order.
order.
That was fantastic.
I know when to be
Great.
quiet.
All right, welcome, everyone. We are. Thank you. Pull up. Call to order. Other matters listed, not listed on the agenda. Any? All right, I assume everybody has had a chance to look at March 12th minutes.
Yes. And I want to say how much I appreciated the the presentation slides that you included with all of that for about status of easements in the county. I thought that was really well put together, but it was informative to be as well. So thank you.
Thanks a lot. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion? All in favor?
Uh,
Go. I'll turn this over to you guys.
Thank you. You're just checking. We don't have anyone online. Oh, someone just joined online. I wasn't sure if the applicants would be here. Seems like they're not at the moment. This donation proposal is for 3 parcels in the north of the county where Browns Gap Turnpike meets Blackwell's Hollow Road. It's a 90-acre property. An easement here would eliminate approximately 12 dwellings. You can see it's an interesting property, quite long and narrow. It's in a drinking water watershed. To the east, it's a very steep forested mountainside, a lot of critical slopes, almost entirely critical slopes there, and a mountain protection area, and part of an ecological core rated as high quality by DCR. On that side, it shares boundary with an existing conservation easement. It's not a lot of boundary, but that is contiguous with the national park if you follow it around. So through a few small choke points, there is technically connected by protected lands to the national park. And in the west, you've got Doyle's River and a tributary of Doyle's River, which are both part of a stream conservation unit, meaning the good quality aquatic habitat. There's a bit of floodplain there as well. The proposal is for the owners to keep one subdivision of the property, and they're asking for 2 dwellings, each of which up to 4,500 square feet, to be built in building envelopes, which I'll show you in a second. The footprint limit proposed is 1% of the property, about 40,000 square feet. And standard terms for agriculture, forestry, commercial uses, grading, etc., except there would be natural forest provisions in the purple area there on the steep wooded slopes, meaning no timbering, no clearing for agriculture. And finally, they're proposing 100-foot riparian buffers on the stream through the center and the streams in the west and the area between the streams as well, which is just kind of it's not quite a wetland, but it's a wet woodland, I would say. The proposed building envelopes are shown here in yellow. I've zoomed in a little bit. The one on the left, this larger building here is the dwelling that they've just built last year. The one on the right is vacant. These 2 buildings are no longer there. They were small agricultural structures. So taken all together, this is how it looks with the protection areas, the buffers and the building envelopes. And it meets the acceptance criteria or the stated acceptance criteria, so staff recommends approval and we're happy to take any questions.
What's the little sliver of land that's not included in the red section?
It's one of the steps, it's an adjacent parcel.
Yeah, there are actually 5 parcels here. The big one, which is part of the proposal, 1, 2, not part of the proposal, this one that is, and another one that isn't.
Wow.
They're each about 5 acres, I think. All 3 of them owned by different owners. I think one of them is owned by the owner of this property here. One is owned by this property here and has access across this parcel.
It doesn't have connection. It appears to be a road to the far right that's cutting across the corner there. Is that a road?
This here,
Yeah.
that's a stream, not a road. So it doesn't have connection there.
So usually you see these funky lots like that and they extend, so they have to have the minimum or whatever road frontage. And then they shoot back the length of the property or something like
Yeah.
that. You got, under the old rules, you got 5. So you end up with these weird things, but there's no accounting for what this is and why it's the way it is
Yeah.
now.
These are very old. I couldn't find back to the 40s at least. These existed as they did.
Old family properties.
Families, a
Yeah.
lot of siblings split
I
up.
hope
So
the family subdivision provision in the zoning ordinance or subdivision and ordinance doesn't permit this.
these wouldn't be allowed anymore. No, that's for sure.
It's crazy.
The, no clearing above 1,100 feet. Do you know the elevation of the main part of the property?
This portion here, not off the top of my head, but I could ask Scott to find that quickly. I think it's, when I visited, I would guess 950 to 1,000.
The 1,100 is not just an arbitrary figure. Does it reflect the topography that?
It's somewhat arbitrary, trying to find a contour that encapsulates all of the steep forested hillside. And I think
But that figure's in the ordinance, right? Anything above 1,100 feet? No?
it's not 1,100 feet. There is a figure for the mountain protection area.
Right?
It was never enacted.
Right.
Right, it's not an ordinance, but
You knew where I was going.
let's see we can see where the mountain protection area.
So where does the 1,100 feet, and who selected 1,100 feet? Is that something we've seen before?
No, this was me coming up with this. And each time I try to find a contour that protects what we want to protect, but doesn't. And I remember I would have ideally gone a bit lower to 1080, 1060, something like that, which would have covered more of the steep forested hillside, but then it started wrapping round into this corner here, which is a shoulder, and that had been cleared, was historically a pasture field, and the new owners had cleared the cedar from it, and so I didn't want to put natural forest provisions on an area that included something that wasn't forest.
But they're agreeing. I mean, they're happy to do it. They
Yes.
said 1,100 feet, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they selected a building envelope for any new structure?
Yeah, this yellow area here is the building envelope for the second dwelling.
And they'll retain the existing one as the first building envelope?
Yes.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
just, I want to make sure I'm clear to this. So those sort of odd shaped parcels to the right, some of those are not included in this easement, but the ones that are not included in this easement are not owned by the same owner. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, and then tell me again what the purple is.
That's the 1,100 foot
Got
and
it.
above forest protection area.
And what's the right of way through the property to the other lots, you know?
It's so old, it's not mapped, it's just kind of written out, so I don't really know. I know I found the access easement, I think, for this top one. It wasn't mapped. I imagine they're just using the driveway that exists. But
Where's that driveway?
it's it.
I see it in that part, but where, how does it access the,
I don't think it does.
It doesn't right now. There's currently a kind of forest track. You could get a ATV up kind of in this corner going down this way.
What if they wanna build an access road that crosses through the stream buffer? I mean, I don't know how this access easement thing works or how much power they hold there, but.
They could, and that's a good thing to be considering here. The county has some powers to make their access as little impact as possible, but even though this is all critical slopes, they have the right to build the first dwelling, even though it would be ridiculous. The steepness of this slope is crazy. Theoretically,
You'd be able to build it if it's over 25%, right?
well, that only applies, generally that's true, but that regulation and all regulations, as far as I'm aware, can't restrict an owner from building a house on a parcel. If there is no house already there.
James, you said they wanted to retain one subdivision, right? So there would possibly in the future be two separate owners.
Mhm.
How does that lay out if it were two separate parcels?
They haven't proposed anything. They don't know. It's hypothetical for their children.
But they're keeping the property boundaries that are lots of record as they are, right? They're not a,
But for now, yes. As the proposal is written, this would allow them to change the internal boundary lines however they wanted, and have two owners across however many parcels.
Have we accepted any subdivisions recently?
Do you mean easements that allow subdivision?
Yes. I thought that was excluded from our criteria.
The criteria don't mention divisions.
There's that 40-acre density kind of minimum just as a consideration for what to accept or not accept, but especially with the larger properties, 100, 200 acres or more, quite a few of our easements, I don't have the stats, but I dig them out, allow some degree of division. It might be 3 lots across 200 acres or something like that. There's 3 separate ownerships across 200 acres or 400 acres. But yeah, that's fairly common.
Those.
It's relatively rare to have a large property easement that allows no division whatsoever. That's right. As the smaller they get, the more common that gets.
It just seems odd if they're limited to 2 dwellings, but they're not quite sure where the 2 parcels would be, but they know where the houses have to be.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that often happens because they know where the nicest building site is.
Right, right.
Even though it's not them building it, they know someone's gonna want the second house there, and so
So
parcels
they
can.
have some idea how the 2 parcels would lay, but they just don't want to commit.
Yeah.
to that.
Tied out.
Yeah, and I'm less concerned with where, I mean, in my mind, they could even have the second parcel end up being 10 acres, because just looking at the whole, it's not gonna really change.
Yeah, I considered suggesting that as well. Sometimes when we permit subdivisions, we say minimum size 100 acres, or one of the parcels has to be at least 100 acres. And I considered doing that here, but for a 90-acre parcel, I didn't think it really mattered if it was split in half, 45-45,
could it be
or
as small as 2 acres?
theoretically.
Yeah, so that might even actually be better.
Right, some people would say that would be better. Yeah, so at the moment, there's no restriction, that is something we could
Yeah.
propose to them.
I don't have her.
Although the existing house, which is codified by this envelope. The distance between that house and the road, what I think is the road, is probably more than 2 acres, right? So that would be. Theoretically, you could have a 2 acre lot with that existing dwelling.
This gets access from an access easement, so this access is on Blackwell's Hollow.
Oh,
Up here, there's a private street.
Okay.
Coming down.
I thought that they did, but.
Yeah.
They're great, kind of.
Well, it's a little weird, but it is what it is, I guess.
Right. Like in between the two forks on the right. There are, if I'm not mistaken, there are two parcels right there.
Right.
And I think
on the
one of
other
them-
side.
I think one of them is like. Ends at the far right side, like it's just, I mean, it's a sliver that stops off, it doesn't even bleed off into. Like the
Both of
bottom
them
of
in.
those two.
Yeah.
I mean, they're completely landlocked.
Bunch of landlocked lots up behind my house up on near Brittenell. I don't know what you do with those. Crazy,
Pay taxes on them, that's it.
essentially.
So remind me, how many division rights this would?
12 realistic dwellings.
Yeah.
And that's 12 within the context of an access road, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'd be much happier that did not happen, so this is great, but even though it's a little weird.
Would you like a motion, Mr. Chairman?
Absolutely, timeliness is great
For me,
to everyone.
I propose that we accept this easement as outlined by the staff.
There's a second,
I'll second it.
further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Chair reminded. There we go.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we have closed meetings, so remind me, we make the motion and then go in.
Yep, make a motion and take a roll call vote.
Someone please make a motion.
I move that the Albemarle Conservation Easement Authority convene a closed meeting pursuant to section 2.2-3711A of the Code of Virginia under subsection 8 to consult with legal counsel regarding specific legal matters.
And it would need to continue.
Do what?
Related to the interpretation. of
Related to
conservation
the
easement.
interpretation.
Oh. Where do I pick up?
Related to,
Related. Second. Right there.
Related to the interpretation of conservation easement language and addressing permitted land uses which requires the provision of legal advice by such counsel.
You haven't memorized that by now?
Try not to.
Do we need a second?
there needs to be a second of the
Is there a
vote.
second?
Second.
Discussions? Roll call?
Yes, 1 second. Director Fennell,
Yes. Aye.
Taylor,
Aye.
Director Emmett,
Aye.
Director Merrick,
Aye.
Director Moore,
I
Director Moses.
Aye.
So if we could turn off the recording and excuse the online guests.
You got this, man? Okay.
Do you memorize it?
All right, do you have the language? Can you pull the language up? Please. I move that the Albemarle are we recording this or?
The recording started again.
Okay. I move that the Albemarle Conservation Easement Authority certify by a recorded vote that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and identified in the motion authorizing the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting. Roll call?
Is there a second?
Oh, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Sorry, who gave that second?
Peter Taylor.
Thank you. Director Fennell,
Aye.
Director Taylor,
Aye.
Director Buttrick,
Aye.
Director Emmett,
I,
Director Merrick,
Aye.
Director Moore,
I,
Director Moses.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, is there any new business? Excellent. Any old business? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So made.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
thanks.
Staff, council, thank you very much.
Yeah,
We really,
well done. Thank you all.
way to go, crew.
Hey, Scott, who was that gentleman? that
So-
was